you meet up with somebody who's a family member or a friend who you haven't seen in a while, what's one of the first ways that you greet them? What would be one of the first things you would do if you haven't seen somebody who's a family member or a friend in a while? What would you do? Okay, maybe give them a hug. So maybe something like this. Anything else? What? Okay, I'm sorry. Randy, what if you haven't seen your mom, and she's eyeing the candy, they're smart. If you haven't seen your dad or your mom in a while, what would you do? Like, what if they've been at work all day and they come home and you haven't seen them in a while? What's the first thing you do? So you would probably give them a hug. You know what? I'm the mom in the house. You know the first thing I do when I ain't seen my kids? Come here. I give her a kiss on the forehead. She still lets me, even though y'all know that she had to bend down to do it. Now my first word, she's like, come on, Mom, do it. And then she's like, okay, sure, I love you. So, today, in our lesson, we are going to talk about a holy kiss, which is why we have chocolate kisses. It is candy. But guess what? What would happen if somebody gave you a hug and gave you a kiss and then spent all the rest of the day telling everybody mean things about you? How would you feel about that? Okay, you'd be upset. So if somebody gave you a hug and a kiss and told you they loved you, and then they spent the rest of the day telling everybody mean things about you, how would you feel about that? You'd feel mad. Guess what? There was this follower of Jesus. His name was Judas Iscariot. I call him Judas I. And I call him Judas I because there was another one of his friends that was named Judas. You know how, like in class, when there's more than one Mary, and they got to tag something on to it so they can tell the difference. Well, Judas Iscariot, was supposed to love Jesus. But guess what happened? He disagreed with something that Jesus chose to do. You know what he wanted Jesus to do? He wanted Jesus to take on the Roman government by force. He wanted to put down the chocolate kisses and go pow, 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 pow to the Roman governor. And when Jesus said, I ain't about that life. I've come to rescue people. I've come to help people. I've come to invite people. And yes, I've come to snatch them from the enemy, but I ain't come to wage a war like that. And Judas, I was like, man, you're supposed to be my friend. You're supposed to have my back. You're supposed to take on the enemies like I want you to. And because you won't take them on like I want you to, I'm going to dime you out to the cops. Not only am I going to dime you out to the cops, I'm going to convince the cops that you really are about that life. That you really are about tearing stuff down. But Judas doesn't actually tell Jesus any of this. He doesn't share with Jesus any of his fears and any of his hurt. He just turns his back on Jesus and watch how he does it. Hey Jesus, how you doing? Because back then they didn't do high fives. They didn't even do hugs. Men and women who were in relationship with each other, who cared about each other, whether they were male or female, greeted each other with a holy kiss. And this person, who was supposed to be Jesus' friend, who had just had a meal with him, showed the enemies of God that Jesus was the God by greeting them with a kiss. Kids are supposed to be be nice and chocolatey. And they're supposed to make you feel good. Kisses are not supposed to make you feel like somebody has betrayed you. They're not supposed to make you feel like you can't trust the people who kiss you and greet you. But let me tell you something else. There are always going to be some Judas Iscariot in the lives. There are always going to be some people who pretend to be our friends, or who may actually be our friends up until we don't give them what they want. And they may say stuff and they may do stuff that hurts us. But then we have the opportunity to do something that Jesus does. We can turn our back on them and get mad. Or we can offer them an opportunity to be friends with us again. With some rules and regulations. Because Jesus offered Judas Iscariot a chance to change and to be right. He didn't take it. And so Jesus had to allow him to live with his choices. Even if they hurt you, it hurts when you see somebody who was your friend hurt. But if you can't stop it, all you can do is pray and invite God to help them be better. So now I have a job for you. You do not get to eat up all the kisses. What I'm going to do, I'm going to give y'all need to do this together. I'm going to give y'all a bag of kisses. And now what y'all got to do is y'all got to make sure that at least everybody in the room gets at least one kiss. Can y'all handle that? Because when we do that as a fellowship of believers, when we share our love and trust with other believers, and even with folk outside the church, we show people that even when some people hurt you and betray you, there will be other people who will have your back, who will rescue you, who will remind you that you are important to God and you are important to them. So, today, the young people are passing you a chocolate kiss. And I invite you to receive it as a holy kiss. I invite you to receive it as proof that God still loves you, that God is still interested in blessing you, in healing you, in strengthening you, and in making everything better for you. All right? They're going to get to you.